Okay, so listen. So Silk Road is the ancient trade road. Understood? It's an ancient trade road between Asia and Europe. Right. So nowadays, see, nowadays there is most of the things are transported through water. Most of the cargo, okay, is transported, yeah, through water. And nowadays the distance has also decreased. Earlier there was a lot of distance, like from Asian country to the Europe, it used to take around 1 month, one long month. Nowadays it takes hardly 2 weeks. Okay, because of the opening of Suez Canal, you might have heard Suez Canal. So after the opening of Suez Canal, the distance between India or the South Asian countries and Europe has gone down by many kilometers. Okay, so so that is. Do you know the distance in the sea is measured in what? Yes, Ranvijay is absolutely correct. Okay, so distance is measured in nautical miles. Understood? So nowadays, most of the volume of goods, okay, are transported. Even in our country also, it's transported through water because water transport is the cheapest form of transport. Okay, but earlier Silk Road was the only available road transport, okay, between India and the Europe. And it was very difficult. It was a terraneous road, like it was uphill road actually. Okay, because see, if you want to go Europe by land, so through Afghanistan and all these, Kazakhstan, Russia, so all mountains you have to cross. Okay, so the roads are also uphill, so it's a very challenging task. But in those days there was no alternative for people. Okay, yes, there was no alternative or way for people because, as I told you, Suez Canal was not discovered at that time. Therefore, going to the Europe and other countries, okay, used to take a lot of days. Lot of days, okay, almost 1 month, 1.5 months, and all that. Right. So that day I was watching on National Geographic, I think. So, like Mexico and USA, you might be knowing they are having borders. Okay, so Mexico and USA, they are in the port. Okay, one of the very largest ports of the United States. They showed that day. You can't imagine, like the ship is like you know four to five football grounds taken together will be the size of the ship. Can you imagine? Okay, everything is there. It looks like a huge, like huge place inside. You will never realize it's a ship, but in fact it's a ship. Okay, and it has got first floor, second floor also. Understood? So can you imagine? Can you imagine till now the bulk of the goods among the countries are transported through water. Understood? Because water is the cheapest transport means of transport. Okay, so not only from Asia to Europe, but even neighboring countries like India, Bangladesh, okay, they go for the water transport because it is the cheapest forms of transport. Okay, and it has been happening from many years now. It has been happening from Sahel many years now. Now, okay. Now here, this Silk Road, the writer of this lesson, he is going to a particular place. He is going for the purpose of pilgrimage on this road, on Silk Road. Therefore, as a passing reference, he is giving us information about Silk Road, but his main purpose is to visit a place of pilgrimage. Okay, so let's see where he goes and how he describes how he reaches there, because it was difficult for him to reach there. So a flawless half moon floated in a perfect blue sky on the morning we said our goodbyes. So whenever they started on a particular day, okay, the sky was clear, okay, sky was clear and sunny. There was no cloud. Extended, extended banks of cloud. See, listen. Extended banks of cloud like long French lobes glowed pink as the sun emerged to splash the distant mountain tops with a rose tinted blush. That is a very poetic way of describing the weather. Okay. So, even though, listen, even though the sky was clear, but as they proceeded, okay, the clouds came in and they were, it appeared like they were floating in the sky. Okay. Now that we were leaving the Rabu is a place, okay, they were leaving a place called Rabu. Lamo said she wanted to give me a farewell present. Might be one of the acquaintances of the writer. Okay, I'm naming. What happened? Girls, what happened? Just tell me what happened. Why are you behaving like kids? Tell me. I told you I'm going. I'm also going live now. I'm live there. So why are you disturbing me? See, if I find you talking, I'll just kick you out of the classroom. I'm telling you. Okay. You don't want me to be aggressive. Then you keep quiet. Otherwise, I'll just drag you out of the classroom if you disturb me. Idiots. See, you have disturbed me now. Lamo said she wanted to give me a farewell present. One evening, I'd told her through Daniel that I was heading towards Mount Kailash to complete the Korah. So we come to know that he is heading for a place called Mount Kailash to complete the Korah. Korah is a religious, religious process. Like after the death, okay, of parents or somebody elderly, we also usually go to a place like Gaya, Kashi, all these places, okay, to immerse the bones, okay, bones of the last rites, okay. Likewise, he is also going to Mount Kailash because like Buddhist, okay, has also similar rites like us. So he was going to Mount Kailash, okay, to do a Koda. Okay, Koda is a religious practice. Okay, and she would say that I want to get some warmer clothes. Okay, so his friend Lamo suggested him that you take some warmer clothes because you will be going uphill. So there will be a lot of temperature variation, and you will feel cold. After ducking back into her tent, she emerged carrying one of the long sleeved sheepskin coats that all the men wore. Satan sized me up as we clambered into his car. Yes, he declared Drogba, sir. So it's called Drogba, that long sleeved sheepskins that she gave, okay? His friend presented. That is called Drogba, na? Yeah. So here you see He has hired a driver. His name is Satan. Okay, you see, T-S-E-T-A-N. Okay, so T is silent here. So he has a driver. Okay, who is guiding him all throughout his journey to Mount Kailash, because he's a hired driver. He's a professional driver. He knows how to go for uphill drive. Therefore, the writer has hired a driver called Satan, okay, all the way to a place close to Mount Kailash, so that the narrator doesn't have any problem on the way. Okay, we took a shortcut to get off the Chanten, is the name of a place. Satan knew a route that would take us southwest, almost directly towards Mount Kailash. It involved crossing several fairly high mountain passes, he said. But no problem, sir, he assured us. If there is no snow, what was the likelihood of that? I asked. Not knowing, sir, until we get there. Okay, so Saturn assured that there is a short route, okay, through which, of course, I'll take you. But if there is snow, only then our journey might be posed with some challenges. Okay, otherwise it's all okay. So then he's asking, what is the likelihood of that? Then he said, I don't know, sir, until we get there, until you reach there. Okay, because if there is snow, you might have seen like snow-capped roads. It's very difficult, like Himachal Pradesh and all that, those places in the month of January, February, December. So the road becomes snow-capped. So as a result, it's difficult, for the drivers to steer along. So that is why he's saying, so we don't know yet, let me get there and let us get there and they will discover whether it's hospitable or it's not hospitable. From the gently rolling hills of Rabu, because they started from a place called Rabu, from the gently rolling hills of Rabu, the short cut took us across vast open plains with nothing in them except a few gazelles. Okay, gazelles animals. Okay. Yes, that would look up from nibbling the arid pastures and frown before bounding away into the void. Okay, so on the way they'll find some gazelles. Okay, who were harmless, who will just gaze at them, look at them, and then they'll go. Okay, and they are found to be in the arid pastures. Okay. Now, further on, where the plains became more stony than grassy. Okay, the road were more stony than grassy. A great herd of wild ass came into view. Herd of wild ass came from somewhere. Now, uh, Satan told us we were approaching them long before they appeared. Then Kyuang, he said, pointing towards a far off pall of dust. When we drew near, I could see the herd galloping en masse. Come here. Yeah, come quickly. I'll get you out of the classroom. That was why. See, when we drew near, I could see the herd galloping en masse, wheeling and turning in tight formation, like those herd of ass. Okay, they came as an obstruction on the way. So I could see the herd galloping en masse. En masse means in large number. Okay, yes, in groups. Wheeling and turning in tight formation as if they were practicing maneuvers on some predetermined course. They were crowding the road. Okay, so it looked as if they were also practicing some kind of maneuvering. Okay, on a road which was not familiar to them. Predetermined, matlab, on some on a road which were familiar to them. Okay, plumes of dust billowed into the cliff's clean air. So see, you need to learn certain vocabulary, okay, certain words. So they are called plumes of dust, okay, or you can say smoke of dust, plumes of dust. So you might have also seen like when the herd of cows or buffaloes go on a muddy road, not muddy exactly, like sandy road and all. So there is a smoke of dust, okay, spraying into the air, right? So that is, this particular fact has been written in a very literary manner. You see how it is written. Plumes of dust billowed into the breeze. Billowed means came floating, okay, spraying into the crisp, clean air. Okay, because they were going. So behind them, the dust of, like scent of dust, or you can say what? Sorry, below plumes of dust or smoke of dust were billowing into the crisp, clean air as hills started to push up once more from the rocky wilderness. We passed solitary drop bars tending their flocks. Okay, again some drop bus came on the uh, route, on the way. Drop bus standing there. Drop bus, I think the people who, yeah, shepherds. Okay, those who graze the animals like shepherds. Okay, so different places, different languages have their own vocabulary. So Drogbas in their own language, okay, uh, are shepherds. Okay, so Drogbas tending their flocks, sometimes man, sometimes women. These well-wrapped figures would pause and stare at our car, occasionally waving as we passed. Okay, so they were just the spectators as they were passing along. Some Drogbas came, and some of them were male, some of them were female, and they were just occasional, visitors. They used to just stare at their vehicles, okay, without posing much of a challenge or threat for them. Okay, when the track took us close to their animals, the sheep would take evasive action. Okay, the sheep would go away from the road. Okay, evasive action, bearing away from the speeding vehicle. Bearing away means they turned away because by when the vehicles proceeded towards the sheep, so they felt frightened, might be, so they steered, they went away from the, veered away from the speeding vehicle. We passed nomads' dark tents, pitched in splendid isolation, usually with a huge black dog, a Tibetan Mastiff. So hunting dogs of Tibet are called Mastiff. Okay, so sometimes they came across a huge Mastiff. Okay, we passed nomads, dark tents, pitched in splendid isolation. They were pitched in separate places, the nomads' tents, usually with a huge black dog, a Tibetan Mastiff, standing guard. Yes, they were used as a guard, okay, security uh, outside the tent. So those are some of the views. Actually, the writer is giving us some uh, uh, pen picture, or you can say description of some of the things that they came across, okay, on their onward journey towards Mount Kailash. Okay, so some description of the things that came in their view on their onward journey to Mount Kailash. Now you see, um, as we continue to draw closer, they would explode into action, speeding directly towards us like a bullet from a gun and nearly as fast. My goodness, so mastiff, okay? They came speeding up to them, okay? And it appeared as if their speed was like that of a bullet, okay? These shaggy monsters, blacker than the darkest night, very dark, okay? And they were blacker than the darkest night, usually wore bright red collars and barked furiously with massive jaws. They were completely fearless of our vehicle, shooting straight into our path, causing Satan to break and swerve. So they were unlike the sheep. Unlike the sheep, they were not scared of the approaching vehicles, of approaching speeding vehicles. They came straightway in front of the vehicle as if they were ready to launch attack on the vehicles. So Satan had to apply brakes several times and swerve the vehicle, maneuver the vehicle several times in order to go past the mastiffs. So mastiffs are the hunting dogs, and they were very ferocious, very frightening. Okay, to look at. Therefore, they came charging down to the vehicle. Okay, sometimes obstructing the route of the way of the vehicle. Therefore, Satan had to apply brakes occasionally and also maneuver their car so as to uh, you know save the animal, okay, from being run over by the vehicle. Okay, now they were completely fearless of our vehicle shooting straight into our path, causing Satan to brake and swerve. The dog would make chase for 100 meters or so before easing off. At least up to 100 meters, the dogs used to chase their vehicles, and then they would ease off. Ease off means they would stop chasing them. Okay, but whenever the narrator and whenever the driver was speeding up the vehicle, the mastiff would follow them at least 100 meters till 100 meters before they stop chasing. Okay. Now you see, having seen us of the property, it wasn't difficult to understand why ferocious Tibetan mastiffs became popular in China's imperial courts as hunting dogs, brought along the Silk Road in ancient times as tribute from Tibet. Okay, they were very popular, the mastiffs. These hunting dogs were very popular in China's imperial courts as hunting dogs, and they were a gift from Tibet to China. Okay, because they were brought all the way from Tibet to China, and they were very popular in the imperial courts in China. Imperial means the king's court. Okay, in China. As hunting dogs, they were very popular at that time. Okay, because of their might be. See, you might have seen the detectives also using those dogs, mastiffs and all. Okay, see, inside the vehicle there were trucks in Mexico border. Inside the vehicle, मतलब vehicle का नीचे से behind, below the vehicle, outside seat, and the dog could somehow slip it. Then were barking, and then the police went behind the vehicle, and they could find a lot of drugs. So this is how they have. Okay. So we'll continue. Okay, it will take 2-3 days time, of course.